Good evening, everyone, viewers and helpers. I am Lord Batsy. I am joined on commentary by Azure Kale. We have Zero Praxis tracking for us, and this is our grand finale race for our ladder racing tournament, Chrono Trigger Jets of Time with Boss Randomizer. So this is a four-way race. We've been racing with several participants for 10 weeks, and these are the top four finishers, and they're going to race for first place. So we've got Dipwood versus Pseudoarc versus Xelpher versus Chocosura, and I'm sure this is going to be one heck of a race.
We got Magus and Chrono to start. Should be an interesting start.
That is an interesting character. Magus has a really high magic power, but he's not going to get his techs very quickly. He needs more tech points than most of the characters to start getting them. Chrono's a pretty decent physical character, but not with that starting weapon of his. So we'll see how all of that pans out.
We'll see if any of the runners dip into desert to try to get a new weapon for Chrono.
Alright, and here everyone goes. I'm sure they're just gonna scatter.
Chocosura is starting right away, changing his menuing so that he has memory cursor for battle and increasing his combat speed.
Checking shops. Looks like Xelpher's ducking into the sunken desert.
Saw Cyclone first for Chrono.
Okay.
There's a few different spots that runners like to go to get their first couple levels. Looks like Dipwood is choosing to go with Denadoro. This first combat should get him his first 2 techs for Chrono.
Pseudoarc be a forest.
We're gonna get our first key item check here from Chocosura. Lazy Carpenter, the tools. Got a Thomas Pop, which will give them access to Giant's Claw when they choose to go there.
Yep. Xelpher's done with the desert. Nothing particularly exciting in the desert, sadly.
We got a bent hilt out of the snail stop from Chocosura as well.
I'm sure everyone is super excited to see bent hilt so early. Given the relative prevalence of the Magus' Castle Go mode requires that lately. Which is to say I'm being slightly sarcastic. But,
just a touch. It's probably good a time as any while they're still doing their checks to see and explain what the Go modes are and how you get there.
Indeed.
So you have 3 different options for Go mode. Your first one involves getting both pieces of the Masamune and Frog, which will allow you to go through Magus' castle to go to Ocean Palace and defeat Lavos. Your second option, which also ends in Lavos, is finding your gate key, your Dreamstone, and your Ruby Knife. You will go through Chrono Layer to Ocean Palace to Lavos, and then the last Go mode is Pendant, Chrono Trigger, and Clone, where you'll go climb Death Peak and do Black Omen to fight Zeal 2. Everyone's preferred and the fastest, of course, is getting Chrono Layer to fight Lavos.
Indeed. Though I kind of enjoy the Black Omen, so like personally, I think that one is my personal. But then I'm always worried I missed a faster Go mode, so you know, there's always that give.
Yeah, you're always asking yourself, if I just did that one more check.
Okay, Chocosura's in Cathedral now.
Dipwood's grinding for that dark matter.
Yep. Not all, probably. Having a tech, especially in boss rando, having a magical tech that does a lot of damage is a really good asset, as is any tech that will quickly clear the screen for you. The Dark Matter and Flare are definitely the top tier techs for clearing the screen. Although early in the game, any sort of level 2 spread will pretty much do it.
Speaking of Flare, there's Luca as our third character in Cathedral.
Beautiful. I'm sure nobody's unhappy to see her.
No, we're just hoping to see that Fire 2 Flare for your first two techs.
Mm-hmm.
I think my third favorite there would be Hypno Wave to deal with some of the bosses that are susceptible to statuses.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Dipwood still hasn't left Inodoro. Might look like he's a little behind, but once he starts rolling, I think he'll make up all the ground he's back.
Absolutely. Chocosura has gone into Denodoro to do similar, probably, but with Luca, so that's interesting.
And Xelpher's running them. Put the Rage Band on Magus, which is not too bad.
Mm-hmm. Counterattack, physical damage, especially early on, can be pretty helpful. Little fights like that. Okay. Chocosura dipping down to probably check Carpenter's Wife at this point. Xelpher going into Cathedral.
Now we'll see if anybody decides to not finish Cathedral and take the gamble that the character that you unlock for finishing Cathedral isn't one of our quest characters.
Indeed. You do get another in the Cathedral. It would be where you normally pick Marl back up after going into the... And then some people will go in a little bit to pick up the Naga bromide so that you can get the 3 tabs from it, and then leave. That's another strategy.
I'm not sure if we mentioned it, but tabs, their values are also randomized.
Mm-hmm.
Power tabs can be 2, 3, or 4, and magic be 1, 2, or 3. And speed is just always 1, because speed is pretty much the best stat in the game.
Speed tabs were already quite good. Chocosura has begun Hecarim's... And it looks like Luca does have Flare, which will make very short work of every encounter in there. At the cost of a lot of MP, but that's how it goes.
And having Flare also makes the Black Omen go mode a little bit easier. While Dark Matter is very strong, it heals a lot of what you would fight in Black Omen.
That is true. There are a lot fewer enemies in Chrono Trigger that resist fire than Shadow.
Chocosura is going through Hecarim's Cave, or as we've started to call it in the community, Dalton's Cave, because you almost always fight Dalton in there.
Dalton does seem to really like that cave. I know that there are some restrictions on which bosses can appear where, and that probably has some... It's just never a surprise anymore. Dipwood fighting that Nugget encounter in Cathedral. Chrono with Lightning 2, which is nice. That'll clear the screen very well, too. Looks like Xelpher's heading into the back of it.
Yeah, Xelpher doesn't want to take the risk on the big stage that you need that character.
Yeah. That's always a difficult call to make. It absolutely saves you time if you don't go back there. You can save, a good 5-7 minutes depending on how long it takes you. But of course, if it's Marl back Prism Shard quests, if it's Robo and you need something out of the desert, that's not so good. The good news is, since we haven't seen the Prism Shard pop up, there's less of a chance it will be needed for progress. But that doesn't mean that it will stay that way.
I've had far too many seeds where the last check I had was Prism Shard, and I had to drag myself back through Cathedral.
Mm-hmm. I think we've all had that happen at least. Is coming up on the save point here, so we're going to see who the boss is in just a sec.
So our first random boss is... not random.
It's not random. Okay. Well, luckily with all of those nice magic techs, Hecarim will go down like he's cut with a knife.
I just had to go double check that I didn't forget to check boss randomizer, because I didn't trust myself for a minute there. But it's definitely there. Just gotta trust me.
Definitely had those moments myself. It's always surprising when you actually get the vanilla. I'm sure it's a relief that it's not Vault, though. Alright, and we'll see who the boss of the Cathedral is. Xelpher's back there now.
Alright, cool. Boss randomizer is on.
Yep. Looks like Nisbel 2, I think. I think that's a green chest. Yes, 2.
With Dark Matter and Flare and a fast Chrono to pump out ethers, I don't think Xelpher's too concerned.
No, that probably won't be a problem.
And then bosses, when they're randomized, they take up to 150% of the boss slot they're in for their HP.
Yes.
So it's not like we're fighting Nisbel 2 at Nisbel 2 health.
Yeah, I believe the maximum for the Yakra spot is something like 1,320, and I think 2 flares should do it, so... Yep. And Hecarim isn't so bad with a base HP of 2,000. Ah, the pendant came out of Hecarim's cave.
Now who does Chocosura send to jail? Looks like Magus.
Magus. Magus is usually a good call for that. His starting weapon is strong enough to one-shot the guards, and generally he's got some sort of spread technique for the battles that have more than one turn. And he's fairly fast, too. It's nice to send in a fast character. But honestly, you can send in whoever.
We're going to see our fourth character, finally.
Yep, looks like Dipwood's going to do Giant's Claw. Or at least prep for Giant's Claw.
Ayla, that's
Oh, nice.
That's a character you love to see. I won't be surprised to see Chrono riding the bench now.
I would not either.
Chrono Trigger, in and of itself, was built on a pretty shaky frame, so a lot of people are hesitant to change characters right away there. They like to leave to avoid some soft locks.
Yeah. For the castle one, I personally like to just wait because usually I'm going to do a bunch of menuing after that anyway, so I figure I'll just get outside the castle, then open up all my screens. I don't know if it's faster, but I tell myself it is, so...
Yeah. Xelpher down equipping Chrono. There he goes.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this really should rename it to Ayla Trigger.
I'd go for that. Pseudoarc taking on Hecarim Cave as well.
+4 power tabs.
Very nice.
Hopefully dipwood doesn't eventually go back and finish Cathedral and kick himself for getting rid of those power tabs, but he likes to skip it as much as he can, so...
It's true. And Chrono is a pretty good physical... It takes a lot more setting up to be a good physical character than Ayla does, in that you've got to find him. That isn't always super easy. You know, we joke that the rule is, if you're playing a seed where you can't find... You'll find, like, 3 rainbows. But if he's there, good luck.
You're stuck with this red katana the whole seed.
Mm-hmm.
So dipwood's climbing Denadoro now after spending most of the seed there.
Alright. It looks like it.
Save Fritz.
Makes sense since Chrono's around. You need Chrono in your party to talk to Fritz and get those free mid-ethers, but those can be incredibly valuable in these runs.
Yeah, there's Fritz. He's freed. Fritz can go and live his drug trade.
Noticed that Chocosura has been grabbing a lot of the treasure out of the dungeons.
I say mountains are nice. Yeah, Choco's going real far on all these chests in the prison.
Mm-hmm. It's not always high-tier loot, but you never know what you can use, and knowing where all the chests are is good for other game modes. Right, dipwood coming up on the Masamune room here.
Looks like we have a freeze on pseudoarc screen for now. Hopefully we can get him back. At least we know he's getting the pendant from there.
Yes. Out come the twins on Dipwood's screen. The twin fight will never be randomized, at least not at the moment, but the boss they form into after this fight will be randomized. You see, the Chrono already has Confuse learned. That's a pretty good sign, especially if we can turn up a good sword for him.
Fire Sword 2, if we can get Fire 2 on Luca, is also a very strong tech.
Alright, we got Hecarim, Dragon Tank, Masamune. It looks like a Golem.
Regular Golem there, no boss Golem at the top.
Yep, luckily, the normal golems aren't too bad most of the time. You can use the elements of fire and ice to sort of not trick them, but keep them in a cycle where they only hit you with a fairly weak single target attack. Not that attack that sadly just hit Luca. But the first attack on a fire or ice cycle will always be a single target level 1 magic attack. And it's a lot less nasty than most of the other things that he'll do to you. So as long as you can hit him with fire or ice, such that that's what he uses when it's his turn, usually not too much of a problem. Xelpher picking up the pendant there. Future. Probably gonna pick up some treasure. Full tonic, and a Nova Armor.
Nice.
Very nice.
So between Nova Armor and Magus' free amulet, you could probably check what's on bridge now.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with all that AoE magic damage that these parties have.
Bridge can spawn any of the mutants, which can be pretty dangerous if you don't have any status immunities.
Yes, since the mutants will absolutely cast Obstacle on you, or some of them call it something else. Obstacle is Lavos' status effect move. I think normally it does confuse, but it was randomized at Jets of Time. So it'd be beneficial to fight a mutant early if you're able to handle it, because then you might be able to get a sneak preview of what the status effect for the seed is, because it'll always be the same status effect on that seed.
Just saw pseudoarc streams back online. It's not showing on our end yet, but he's currently fighting the dragon tanks.
Alright, looks like the Grand Leon was up the Den of... Not usually something you want to see, especially if Frog is... And the Grand Leon, for those who don't know, is the powered-up version of the Masamune that you would normally get by taking Frog through the northern ruins. The Grand Leon is the Japanese name of the sword, funnily enough.
There we go, pseudoarc's back.
Yay, pseudoarc's back. Dragon Tank.
Dipwood's gonna do the bridge check. You have to talk to the captain here, so you can go talk to the chef in the kitchen of the castle.
Alright. We got Chocosura heading into Protodome, and there's another character check in here.
Xelpher missed a skip there. It's kind of hard. You gotta get if you get right between those shields, you can skip this encounter entirely. Sometimes you're slightly too far to the left or right.
Alright, looks like it's Frog and Protodome.
Prism shard from the bridge.
Alright, there's that prism shard.
We haven't seen Marl yet. Dipwood resets out of it.
Which is wise. I think at this point most people would reset out of Xenon Bridge item that gives them some very solid. You can always go back for it. It's a quick check.
Exactly. Now Dipwood's gonna head into Giant's Claw. There's a bunch of power tabs in here as well, so that'll be nice for Chrono, for him.
Yeah, especially on this seed where they're with 4.
Exactly. Pseudoarc is through to the future, and we're gonna see Aerostome on Chocosura. Haven't had anybody in the same dungeon in a while. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, it's been very interesting. Everyone's super spread out.
Xelpher also saving Fritz.
It's the right thing to do.
I think if you save Fritz and you get Black Omen Go mode, you have to also turn off the new. It's only fair.
It's true. I always turn off the new.
He just wants to rest.
I know that feeling very well, so what can I say?
Exactly.
Chocosura's fighting Guardian. Guardian, unfortunately, is one of the bosses that is immune to fire damage. Its little bit friends are not, but the Guardian itself is. So Luca won't be helping much in this fight, but it'll probably go down pretty quickly.
Pseudoarc also picking up Frog, just in case it's a Mega Seed. Pseudoarc's also going to go check out Aerostomes.
It's always a solid check to make. It's fairly quick, and there's another treasure door down there.
Chocosura is about to come up on the true boss of Aerostome, that stinking rat.
Mm-hmm.
I think he almost got the one frame there. We got a slash in Giant's Claw.
Yep, let's see which slash. It in fact makes a pretty big difference sometimes.
And counterintuitively, you actually want super slash, and not the first slash. But we got the first slash.
It's regular slash. Yep, super slash is not immune to ice the way regular slash is, and I believe super slash also doesn't have regular slash's pretty good magic defense. But offensively, super slash is not really worse, so just no reason to prefer regular slash over super slash.
And with this party, it wouldn't really come up, but you can actually use stop on super slash if you had Boogie from Ayla and Robo.
There's a couple of weapons that you can hit him with. Luca's got one, Marl's got one, I think, that'll inflict stop. They're not that useful much of the time, but every once in a while those come in handy.
And once Slash gets underneath about around 500 HP, he starts to counterattack with a really strong physical attack. So Dip was hoping to get past that without too much trouble. That's that counter.
Alright, Choco's coming out of Aerostome now. I'm getting Robo's ribbon.
Not what you want to see.
No, especially with no Robo to be found. The ribbon is certainly a very nice item, but it is not progress.
Yeah, with Jets of Time, it's actually an equipable accessory. Gives Robo with another +3 speed, gives him auto barrier every encounter, and also it gives him the Sunshade of 25% damage. But Robo's Ribbon and a Crisis Arm is always really nice to see, but we don't have any of those three, so...
Yep, if only. Alright, looks like it's on to the Sun Palace for Chocosura. Pseudoarc going into the treasure room. Sir, Speed Belt, Time Cat, and Mega Blast. It's not too bad.
Let's see, Choco forgot to turn off his alerts. It's alright, it's a cute monkey.
Right, Xelpher is turning in the Naga Bromide from the cathedral. In a normal run, you give the dirty old man the implied cheesecakey monster photo, and he gives you a magic tab. In Jets of Time, you actually get one of each tab, so it's pretty valuable.
Yeah, both Dipwood and Choco are struggling a little bit against their bosses.
Yeah, indeed. These are rough bosses if you don't have the right defenses sometimes. Son of Sun isn't always too bad, but if you're a fairly low level and can't mitigate the fire damage, he can be pretty rough. Xelpher going into the factory. The factory is the alternate route through to opening up the End of Time. Normally you'd get through by getting the gate key, and then you can go to the End of Time. But the End of Time will allow you to unlock magic for Chrono and Marl and Lupin. Basically your first 4 characters. Without that, they will only learn 3 tech.
We're getting the Hero Medal of the Giant's Claw, which is just another free check. If you just go to Frog's Burrow, you can open the left chest there now.
Yep. If you're using Frog, you can also equip it on him, and it gives him... It's similar to Robo's Ribbon. It gives him the auto barrier and,
It's auto barrier, auto shield, and prism specs for 50% damage.
Yes. See who the character in the burrow is.
Robo. That conveniently means that Desert's basically a check that no one needs to do, since if you're picking up Robo, you can do Mega's Castle anyway.
There's the bent sword.
So we know there's one Go mode out there.
Yep. We've seen the hilt, right? Where was that?
Choco got the hilt from Snail Stop.
Snail Stop, right?
So has Dipwood not checked Snail Stop, or is he...
Gosh, potentially not. I'm wondering if Dipwood is concerned about Frog.
True, he hasn't found him yet. He hasn't found his pendant. I forgot.
Yeah.
So Choco's going to do Giant's Claw right now. Choco's going to be the first to go, but we'll see what he's doing.
Yep, looks like Son of Sun was the clone. According to the tracker.
Dipwood's gonna see who's go through Cathedral, just that character. I guess he's probably checking here for Frog.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Pseudoarc had a pretty easy time with Son of Suns. Gonna get his clone now.
Yep. Xelpher fighting the R series, who have been reduced from 6 targets to 4 targets in jets. Then Xelpher will probably head into Chrono and pick up the character and pseudoarc is checking Xenon. I'll probably be surprised if he decides to go through.
Yeah, especially having checked all the characters he can at this point, not having Marl.
Yeah, we know she's at Dactyl Nest at this point. I don't know if any of the players have enough to know that by themselves. But either way, the gate key is nowhere to be seen yet. Ooh, maybe he'll go ahead and do Xenon.
It might be doing it for at least for the drops or the knowledge from a mutant. Oh no, there's the reset.
Okay, there's the reset. Yeah, well, Xenon Bridge often does have good drops, so it's not without benefit, for sure.
Pseudoarc and Chocosura starting Denador at almost the same time.
Mm.
Which means they're both well on their way to Magus Castle's Go mode right now.
Indeed.
Xelpher's unlocking his magic. Now, will Dipwood change to Ayla after all the tab investments on Chrono?
That is the question. I know Dipwood likes to use tabs pretty early. And, you know, there's benefit to that, but of course the drawback is if you find a character you really like using, not losing. Don't lose your characters. Like using later in the game, you have to decide, you know, whether that tab investment is worth throwing away.
Xelpher's going into Genodome.
All right, we get to see Genodome. Xelpher likes to come here earlier than many people might choose to come here, so it'll be fun to see what comes out of it. It's a gamble, but I mean, if it's a Go mode item, then he could be laughing all the way to first place, so we'll see.
Chocosura getting some really nice skips in there. Dipwood's gonna go find his pendant now in Hecarim's Cave.
Mm-hmm. So it may just be a matter of time before Go mode for Dipwood at this point, assuming he zips straight to the future and finds Frog.
Yeah, I suspect Dipwood's first check will be having both pieces of the sword knowledge to check that Protodome character.
Mm-hmm.
Chocosura and pseudoarc are almost screen for screen.
Yep. Interestingly, since pseudoarc went with air, that took out the twins in one hit. Dark matter just didn't quite. I always forget what the native powers of the spells are versus the magic powers of the characters are, but I usually find that flare is a little bit better. Most of the time it doesn't make a difference, but every once in a while it will. Nice bat skip by Dipwood, which honestly isn't that hard, but I'm really bad at it, so I'm going to compliment it.
Yeah, it's one of those skips that if you practice it a little bit, it becomes real easy.
Yeah, I theoretically know how to do it, but like that's like the one I always mess up, so I laugh about it.
The one I'm working on is in Chrono layer. That last skip before in his Bell 2 spot.
Oh yeah, the door.
Everybody's working on their own individual bosses right now. We're keeping an eye on Xelpher. Hopefully we'll be really cool to see the trigger out of here, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Here's hoping. It's always fun when people get different go modes in the same seed. Pseudoarc and Golem probably in for some disappointment here in a second. I'm sure Chocosura's
pseudoarc actually was slightly behind Choco, so we must have had a slightly better fight too.
Yeah, I think his damage is a little better right now.
Alright, Dipwood should be off to prison here shortly too.
Xelpher getting 2 doors open off of one zappy charge. Not the really hard trick. Just the really hard trick.
There's like a handful of frames that you can get this within.
Something like 6 or 7. And he got it. First try.
And then in a 60 FPS game, it's real tight.
I played a lot of this game as a kid, and I know quite a bit about it, and I admit I didn't know that conveyor skip was possible until very recently, because I could never get it to work. So, I am very impressed with anyone who's able to do it. I have yet to master that.
I had to sit down and make a save state and just practice for like an hour one night.
Yeah, at some point I'm sure I will do that.
But it saves a lot of time because doing the other half of this dungeon takes a long time. There's a lot of encounters you have to do.
Yep, and you know, you can still duck into that upstairs hallway and grab the tab, so that part is out of the way for those who like going upstairs. Blackrock at a giant's claw. I haven't really been paying attention to what marks have turned.
Speaking of that tab, Xelpher just grabbed it.
Nice.
Mother Brain's another one of the fight. Pretty much every fight in the future, I think, isn't randomized in this current version. So it's just another vanilla Mother Brain fight.
Yes, that is correct. Mother Brain is an interesting case because, I mean, she's a 4-target boss fight. And currently we swap single boss, but mostly the single target bosses within themselves and the double target bosses within themselves. And there's talk of doing triple target bosses. I don't even know if there's any other 4 other than her.
Son of Sun's 5.
Right, yeah. Son of Sun being a puzzle boss would be kind of bizarre to randomize, maybe. I mean, if you want, like, super chaos mode.
We can see how pseudoarc handles slash here.
With hitting a blue shield. I think it's easier to dodge the shields with some characters than others. As far as I know, everybody has more or less the same hitbox, all of your player characters, but I personally find, like, the 1000 AD characters, and also Frog, because he's pretty little, are the easiest to line up, just because of how they look.
Robo's also really nice, he's perfectly symmetrical.
That's true.
Alright, Xelpher's into the
boss fight.
And he's going with the. He's not going to take out the screens because if you take the screens out, Mother Brain goes berserk. But doesn't take much to take her down at these levels, I guess.
No, she doesn't have particularly high HP. And I see that picking up magic has paid off for Xelpher because with Fire 2, you've got Blaze Kick, and that was the Ruby.
pseudoarc going for anti-life on Slash. Anti-life is a tech that was put in to replace Magus's black hole. It was very inconsistent, not really a great tech, but anti-life does about the damage calculation with dark matter, but ignores magical defenses.
Yep.
But it also kills Magus.
Yes, it kills the caster, but there are certainly ways to use it very nicely. You know, if you've got Chrono with life, if you've got Marl with life too, then you don't necessarily have to worry about an endless supply of revives to keep the anti-lives coming. You can also dream on Magus, you get a free one.
I'm seeing Ruby Knife on the tracker from Mother Brain, which isn't very fun.
Nope, that's the first item from that particular Go mode to pop up. We'll see how it goes for Xelpher at this point. You know, that is a pretty time commitment for not much return. No!
He's going for it. He healed.
Yep.
Blessed new, bless this seed.
Alright, let's see what the news got.
No Ayla for charming it, but it's alright. Level.
Oh, no drop.
Aww. We really need to make new drop something guaranteed.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
pseudoarc finding Robos down here.
Robo and the bent sword.
Alright, so he's probably gonna head right to Snail Stop and jump into Magus Castle. We got our potentially first person into Go mode.
Yep.
We don't have a track that he bought it. Maybe he did already?
I don't think so. I think that's the Grand Leon.
Okay. No, he just went to where Melchior's house was, so I wasn't sure. Chocosura having a little struggle with trying the anti-life strats here. They don't seem to be working for him the way they want to.
Yeah. This was a rough spot to have Slash in. I've had trouble here with him too. This is just a really beefy, like, boss spot. And Slash can really dish it out, so... It's nicer to see him in places where he'll have less HP.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, we got our first go mode. That's exciting.
Alrighty.
Xelpher probably going to reset here in a second from the bridge check.
There's Chocosura's hero medal, so I'm sure he's going to go turn that in right now.
Got a star scythe out of the Tabin item. You get a free Tabin item after you reforge the Mass Moon, and also after you pick up the Sunstone.
Yep.
The item you get after the Mass Moon is always going to be a weapon, so if you're starving for weapons, make sure you grab that. Pseudoarc doing his last shop before going into Magus Castle. Looks like he might switch to Frog here.
Yeah, possibly. You at least have to put him in to open up the magic cave, but after that you can take him right back out if you want.
He went through the trouble of equipping the Grand Leon and Hero Medal.
Yeah. I mean, if you've got his stuff, Frog's pretty good, so at this point this would be the time to try using it.
And Xelpher's still our only racer who has unlocked magic.
Dipwood is in Protodome, so he's going to see Frog really soon.
Which will save him a couple of checks that the others have done.
Yep, and then, gosh, Aristome is... I think that was the Robo Ribbon.
Yes.
That's what Xelpher's about to see. Xelpher's in an interesting spot because at this point he is fairly behind if you're counting by, you know, being close to go mode, but going through Genodome does power you up quite a bit. So
he's also the only one to unlock magic, so having Blaze Kick is very strong.
Oh yeah.
Dipwood's doing a couple more chest checks before he lets us know if he's gonna go for Magus Castle. Oh, off to 1,000.
Yep, looks like that one chest in Lab 32 is often pretty good, so. Checking money and buying that sword. Alright, Pseudoarc first into Magus's castle.
He's in right around 54. Choco should be in probably right around 55. Give us that sweet frog music.
Yeah, we're gonna get a Frog opening the magic cave 3 times in quick succession here.
There it is. Thank you.
Yes.
So we have 2 more random bosses here in Slash and Flea's location. There's
Yep.
still a whole host of single target bosses we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, Dalton could still be out there.
So pseudoarc electing to leave Magus behind here. And Choco choosing to leave Chrono behind. Finally have some different teams going on. Oh, I spoke too soon. Xelpher just now climbing the Denadoro.
Right, after the skeleton fight, we'll see who's in Slash's spot. I think that is a 4,000 HP base slot.
Dalton plus.
And here he is.
Most people's least favorite boss to find.
It is worth pointing out that in Slash's spot here in Magus's castle, if you're really, really scared of who pops up, you actually can run out and save again. It doesn't lock you straight into the boss fight after you beat the skeletons. You have to go up and talk to it.
Dalton plus is a scary boss just because of how many attacks he gets in a row. There's a lot of one-shots, well, large physical attacks he does, and then everything you hit him with he counters, so it's just very, very hard to keep your health high.
Indeed. It's a pretty difficult balance of dealing damage and mitigating damage at the same time. Alright, here we got Frog cutting up in the cave again on Dipwood's screen.
Shoutouts to Zero Praxis changing that right away for us.
Anti-life strats on Dalton from pseudoarc. Not necessarily a bad call. He'll just counter with Iron Orb.
Chocosura might be doing a little bit of extra XP grinding here. Or he just accidentally ran into them, I'm not sure.
I think that's the 5 skeleton fight, so that's the Slash's room, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, you're right. And there goes Dalton plus.
Very nice. That's kind of pile on the damage before he can pull out his really awful attacks. Dalton's regular attacks, I don't know if you want to call them regular attacks, but his non-counter attacks follow an exact all the time. So you can always know when the really awful ones are coming.
Yeah, a lot of the bosses run on a really predictable script. You just have to learn it.
Yep. Chocosura going in against Dalton.
Never actually got a chance to see what Frog has for techs.
Yeah, I'll have to look at that. Chocosura opting to do magical damage, but with dark matter and flare, that's certainly feasible. Just have to eat spread counterattacks.
Speaking of really predictable scripts, we got Atropos in Flea's spot.
Yes.
Atropos script pretty much, for the most part, personally, I wait for her to do her self-heal and then just try and kill her before she starts exploding on me.
Her second turn, I believe, is her self-heal. pseudoarc might be able to pile on enough damage to get her before the heal. It just depends on the roll. But since this is Flea's spot, the HP isn't super high.
Yeah, with Flare, Confuse, and Dark Matter, I think you might be right on that one. One thing to note for people that are running in fight Atropos, if you survive her shadow, why can't I remember the name of that?
The laser spin?
Yeah, if you survive her laser spin, her robo tackle is actually just a half damage attack. So don't waste the turn healing after laser spin.
Yep, you can wait. Alright, there she goes, no problem.
Chocosura is through Slash 2, Slash's spot, Dalton.
Yep, as Dipwood comes up upon Dalton.
Xelpher is heading into Giant's Claw. Now, most of the fights in Magus' Castle are pretty much all runnable, so if you don't need the XP, just run away.
There's a couple of exceptions, but not very many. I always enjoy how, other than Magus himself, the hardest part of Magus' castle is the beginning with Slash and Flea, and then it's just a bunch of, like, cartoon character nonsense with Ozzy until the end.
Ozzy is one of my my favorite NPCs in this game. There isn't a key item in Ozzy's fort for regular randomizer, so it's one of the reasons I like running one of our game modes, Chrono Sanity, just because I just like being able to go there and look at all the antics.
Always fun. Get to go there in Legacy of Cyrus too, which covers most of the Frog and Magus stuff. That's a fun mode. Right, Dipwood's through Dalton.
Whoa, let's skip from pseudoarc, skipping both the ball and the
Nice. Those balls can be a little bit finicky. You could kind of like bump them with your head when you're on the stairs sometimes, even though they should be behind you, you know, if it was a three-dimensional space.
Chocosura through Atropos now. Xelpher found a haste helm somewhere.
Very nice. Nice 2 on that fight. That's like the one fight that pseudoarc's on where I think ice is the only element that will clear the screen. Everything else is absorbed or blocked by one or the other enemy. And then the middle fight in this room you could
Chat, the investigators at Chat R have informed me that Haste Helm was in Genodome, which makes sense.
That's definitely another thing that could help out. I've seen Xelpher make some very good comebacks from being behind, so I still think this is possibly anybody's race.
Yeah, since now he just has to go check Hero Metal. Again, he's the only one that's gotten magic unlocked so far, so he might be able to get a leg up. I suspect pseudoarc and Chocosura will unlock magic after defeating Magus. So he might have a leg up on not needing to farm as many tech points.
No!
No! No, that's fair. I did the same thing.
Xelpher did not elect to fight the new, but since we know it's not dropping anything, it's fine.
Alright, Xelpher's probably on his way to purchase the other half of the Massive Moon.
Indeed.
Double new! Oh man, Xelpher. He's probably worried about being behind.
I imagine he feels pretty behind at this point. He's made a lot of checks that haven't gone.
Somebody needs to time out Zero Practice. Too new, too furious. Get out of here. I wonder if Ayla had Charm, and if somebody would have swapped her in for these levers or not.
I don't know if she had Charm. Yeah. These levers will die if you charm them, and then you'll get an item. So if you have Charm, it's often worth trying it at least once. And then you know if it's not something you want, you can just kill the rest of it.
Choco's, I don't know if he elected to jump down here, but these chests are pretty nice sometimes. Got 2 lapses.
I wasn't quite sure if he did it on purpose because he used a different hole than most people use when they do it on purpose. And I think he was checking the exit too. I accidentally fell in that hole just earlier today, so I knew where the exit was. That's the only reason. The diamond pad. You hug the top wall, and then go 2 diamonds out, 2 diamonds up, and then to the right wall.
Yeah, I'll tend to take the far right hole there, just because the exit's always far right, but I like to check those chests myself. And we get the last frog theme there.
Yep. Like everybody going through Magus's castle.
I think we saw all the checks, really, that they had access to, so... Gate key must be on Woe.
Must be.
It feels fitting, though, having the Magus Go mode to end the ladder after all the rest of them.
It does.
Oh, we have Ayla Magus.
Ooh.
So the Magus fight's also randomized. It'll just be one of the characters. The only real difference in the script is after the Magus risks casting a spell, they'll do an appropriate AoE damage instead of dark matter. Ayla's is actually destruction rains from above, from Lavos.
It's the energy release. So Lavos does do it, but it's the one he does after obstacle, not before, basically.
It's all physical damage, which is sometimes a concern.
I think it's magical damage, but it is non-elemental, meaning you can't put on anything to soak it. So you can't have a character that is guaranteed to survive the nasty attack with Ayla. Luckily, that is a really nice beefy
Wow.
anti-knife that ought to make short work of this fight.
And he has the green dream to pick himself back up.
Mhm.
I don't think Magus took the counterattack damage there. Need to watch that clip back. That was weird.
Alright, and Xelpher is going into the castle.
Yeah, just watch that back. He did not take the counterattack damage because of the Green Dream revive.
Yeah.
I learned something new every time I watch somebody race this game.
Indeed. I've never seen anti-life break anything, but it does sometimes make the game behave a little bit unexpectedly, and I think that's just because it's like a homemade tech. And depending on when things go off after the turn happens, can cause different behaviors. But I've never seen it like in a bad way.
Pseudoarc's just sticking to that nothing but anti-life strat.
That 3,000 damage, I can't imagine much else is gonna do as well. And looks like she's gone into her second phase, so now it's time to just do as much damage as you can as quickly as possible.
Xelpher's rocking the Fire Whirl.
Ooh, very nice.
This should take Ayla out.
Yeah, at this point I can't imagine. I think she's got a fairly good HP roll, but yeah. Didn't have to eat the energy release. Alright, Chocosura is getting ready for the fight, and Ozzy.
So we'll see. I really suspect Pseudoarc's gonna hop into that end of time gate.
I wouldn't be surprised. This is the last way to go to the end of time. Given how much it takes to unlock the Age of Antiquity in the first place, 12,000 BC being the Dark Ages, Age of Antiquity in the new translation, I think a lot of people don't usually rely on it unless it's just their last shot. But it's there if you need it, which is nice.
Alright, everybody help Pseudoarc out. Everybody think magic.
Think magic.
I want to see magic in chat. I think Corinth just cursed Pseudoarc, saying magic backwards.
Oh. Well, I think it's too late. He already had it, so. If you want to curse a runner, you have to take stream delay into account. No, kidding. Don't curse the runners.
Dipwood getting into Ayla fight here shortly as well.
Mm-hmm.
Xelpher's getting into the flea fight. Someone in chat says they thought they had to hug the wall. It's literally just the corners that matter for
Yeah, for Specchio.
Specchio, yeah. I personally still hug the walls, so I don't miss the corners, but...
Me too. I'm very bad at actually hitting the corners, but you can do that.
Yeah, some people get a little swaggy with it.
Mm-hmm. I've been trying. I've been doing it in practice, but if I'm racing for real, I still...
Looks like Dipwood and Chocosura are opting out of anti-life strat. I missed what was in the new shop, but pseudoarc didn't spend much time there. I didn't think he grabbed the speed tab.
Nothing particularly, like, really good. There were mermaid caps and elixirs, but there weren't, like, you know, mega elixirs or prisms or I only got a quick glimpse of it, but the short answer is nothing back. Alright, Chocosura's got Ayla into her end phase. It's actually something to pay attention to. Magus, or whomever replaces him, their barrier doesn't go down until Magus risks casting a spell, but you will know that you're about to jump into that phase because you won't get hit by a counter attack when you normally would. And that's sort of like the early warning. And actually at that point, you can start dealing non-elemental damage and physical damage just as fast as you can.
Got Super Slash at the top of Zeal Palace.
Yes. So this should be a good demonstration of just how much easier Super Slash is to deal with. Like, he still dishes out the damage, but he's gonna take a lot more.
It's our second last instance of a randomized boss. We only have one more. It's the double golem location. So we're gonna have two of a singular boss. We're gonna have a two-piece boss. We'll see what happens when we get there.
Indeed. The two-piece bosses in the double golem spot, I believe, are quite rare. I think that happens when Dalton would be rolled, but Twin Dalton is so terrible that nobody wants to speak of it ever again. So in that case, you can get, you know, a mutant. Something nicer than Dalton. Right, and into the Ocean Palace for pseudoarc. I didn't see what level he was just now, and I don't know how much he'll choose to grind at the grinding spot. Xelpher knows not to hit his head on the rolly.
Xelpher going for the same hole that I fall down.
Mm-hmm.
Chocosura's off to unlock magic. Vedic Blade on Chrono.
Oh, that's not bad.
Alright, so this is what we colloquially call our grinding spot. It's really good tech points and good XP. Most runners will get to about 28's a nice comfortable spot. from here to fight Magus.
Lavos, yeah.
Sorry.
It's alright. Lots of people fighting Magus, so. But yes, this is where we tend to stop if we need to get extra levels or grind out any endgame packs.
Now, if it's your first time, or first few times running through the randomizer, I wouldn't recommend stopping at 28. More like 30, 32, just to give yourself that extra.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of recommend, like, starting at 32, even 33 at 32 is not enough, and then just, you know, give yourself one fewer level each time when you're comfortable with it, and just kind of take yourself down, and you get used to it. The other thing to watch for is gear, too. This is an okay run for gear, I think. There's been some decent pieces, so it's not like Lavos' attacks are gonna, like, totally cut through all the characters. But that's absolutely something you want to pay attention to. If your gear isn't very good, you might want to grind out.
Chrono just learned life to help with anti-life. Anti-life's now double tech.
Alright, Dipwood is done with his Ayla fight.
Will he choose to unlock magic?
We'll see. I guess my question would be, you know...
He does not.
Maybe not, yeah. My question would be, I suppose at that point, you know, how comfortable am I with the damage I can deal out and my techs in general? If you feel like you can do it with what you've got, then possibly no need.
Pseudoarc gets the Cthulhu skip.
Very nice.
Luckily, he skipped both of those groups.
Bring Frog back in, looks like, to bring his HP down, probably for Frog Squash. We will explain when we get there.
There he goes. I was gonna say, he should probably get a little closer. It's a lot faster if you're closer.
Yes. If you're gonna get HP down with the statue, definitely stand right next to it. Xelpher's up at Ozzy. I think definitely made up some time in Magus' castle there.
I'd wager that every one of these runners right now feel like they're behind.
I wouldn't doubt it at all. Everyone's done enough dud checks, and those just make you worry every time you race. Alright, pseudoarc first to the elevator. Running away from that first battle.
I didn't even notice if Dipwood or Choco really spent any time at the new shop.
I didn't see Choco, but Dipwood not really, I think. Dipwood often doesn't spend a lot of time there.
Choco's down to Ocean Palace.
Yep, here comes a frog squash.
This is where you find out that he didn't get enough damage taken off a frog, but oh no, he has
like
hero
got
metal.
enough.
With hero metal, it's pretty easy.
Yep. Yep, frog squash is used there because it does non-elemental damage that those little scouts, like the ones on screen now, won't counterattack. If you hit them with any element but their own element, they will hit you with a full screen elemental attack. You know, I recommend, for example, not accidentally casting Dark Matter on that fight because it'll end your run real quick. Not that I would know or anything.
Not from any personal experience at all. Yeah, especially most of the time you do your grind and you go down. Most people don't save after, so it's a long start over. Scout skip one.
Skip. Nice.
That one's tricky. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
2 for 2.
Very good.
Trying to think of what double boss here would really trip the runners up.
Well, we've already had Dalton, and it can't be Dalton anyway. It could be... So that means it can't be improved.
Wonder Shot!
Wonder Shot! Yeah. It probably won't get used, but who doesn't love the Wonder Shot?
Gotta equip it. Even Flea or Flea Plus, pseudoarc is probably gonna stick to anti-life, which means he doesn't have to fear his the stare counter.
Yeah, or at least not 2 at once.
Oh.
Looks like it's Yakra.
Yakra, yeah.
This shouldn't be an issue.
Not even gonna keep the green dream on.
Nope. I'm gonna go for status protection. Yakra 13th does chaos confusion, so it'd be nice to avoid that in the first part of the fight. And yes, as you can see, for boss rando, the twin spot is effectively treated as a single boss slot, and whoever gets swapped into it just appears twice, instead of just having twin golems.
Fire Sword 2 is gonna make real short work here.
Mm-hmm. It's nice that Yakra 13 isn't a boss that is moving around the screen a bunch. Depending on what you get here, sometimes they'll spread out, and then you can't always hit them. It's things like Fire Sword 2 together.
Oh no. Is he gonna survive the double counter?
Ooh.
Just
okay.
One. All you need is one.
Chrono's up, it counts.
Chocosura is doing a little bit of grinding, doesn't like his levels where they're at.
Mm.
So 30, 29, and 28 are pseudoarc's final levels here.
Those ought to be alright.
Some last minute gear fixing. He's got the time hat to counter stop. So we still haven't found out what our Lavos obstacle is going to be. With pseudoarc equipment layout, we may not.
Yep, that's true.
Xelpher's working his way up to the castle now.
I'm gonna start the Lavos fight here on pseudoarc screen in a second, so... Final boss hype, I guess. I believe Outer Lavos has about 12,000 hit points. And he will just do his 3 attacks over and over. The Destruction Rains from the Heavens, Obstacle, and then the Energy Piece.
Chat asked you to describe your music strat for menu glitch. So do you want to just talk about the menu glitch coming up in general then?
Oh, my music strat. Okay, yeah, so there are spots in Chrono Trigger where you can do what we call the menu glitch. When the screen fades to black and is transitioning from one scene to another, sometimes you can be hitting your top button to open the menu during that transition because it drops the flags that stop the menu. So my musical cue, it's between Inner Lavos and Lavos Core. It's right after the Inner Lavos cutscene will play, he'll turn into Lavos Core, and then Lavos Core will summon his little bits, and then the music will start. And it is right at the beginning of the second measure of music, assuming those are eighth notes, using musical terms, which not everyone will understand, but I guess one measure is da-da, da-da, and then at the next da, you'd hit your button. So right on the 9th note or the first beat of the second measure, just like hit it and hold it. It like never misses for me. So hopefully that was a good enough description, and I can try to make a tutorial video sometime too. Sorry, go ahead.
We'll put it up there right with your Dalton's Cave video. Pseudoarc through Lavos 1.
Yep.
Looked
Nice.
a little close at the end there, but he made it.
Yep. You just gotta deal the damage, and then there's a save point inside, and you can shelter again.
Obstacle was Chaos.
Alrighty.
So Lavos 2, you have to kill both arms, and then after the arms are dead, head will cast obstacle, and then you try to get the head down. Left arm has about 1,000 health less than right arm, as we're looking at him. He'll open up with, call them chest lasers of dooms for Twitch. And from there, you want to, if you get at least one of the arms dead before he really gets a chance to go, he won't really boomerang you right away. But the boomerangs, like he's doing right now, are huge physical damage and can really mess with your opening.
Yep, you've got a little bit of time. I would say that either you want to be able to kill at least one of the arms before he boomerangs, both of them ideally, but you can't always do that. If you can't do that, and you have time to heal your party right after the laser beams, then usually you're gonna live through the boomerangs unless he hits the same character with both of them, but that's only like a 1 in 6 chance, so it's usually an okay gamble, is what I find.
Miss at a Chrono. Not where you want to see it.
Yeah, sadly Chrono and also Robo, their hit stats aren't they aren't necessarily what you'd like.
So pseudoarc is 2 whole boss fights ahead right now.
Yep. Nice scout skip by Chocosura, gonna open up that bridge. And Dipwood and Xelpher both on the elevator. Xelpher is still gaining.
It's that early magic unlock, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, that and I mean... Not that Genodome is the best use of time when there's not a good item in there, but you do gain a lot of levels of...
So Chaos, I wasn't sure if he was going to heal because he's about to use a Shadow Slay, which just would have broken the Chaos anyway.
Right, because that'll stick poison on, as it did.
Yeah, so now he has Poison, which is a negligible ticking damage, but it does reduce the damage you deal.
Yeah, I would even argue that damage reduction is way worse than the like poison tick damage. Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
It's good game design, though, because it gives you a reason to actually remove poison. Maybe they started realizing players were...
So almost wondering, I suspect pseudoarc's probably going to go, we're looking at the next fight. It's Lavos 3, it's three cores. You need to kill the right core. It doesn't drop suspense until the left bit or the center's down. There's a few different strategies. You can either take out left bit first with physical attacks, or work down the center bit, however you choose to do it. I suspect we're going to see center bit strats from pseudoarc with Dark Matter and Fire Sword. And then Magus will either play Alchemist or throw some anti-life as well there.
Yep. Wouldn't be surprised with Shadow Demons.
So you have a few turns before Lavos is going to do anything after Shadow Doom Blaze. So there, he's dead. So here we're going to see hopefully we'll see our menu glitch.
Yep. As commentators, do we have the sound in real time? Call out the audio moment. We do.
I think so.
Okay. I'll say now and hope it's just when I'm hearing it. Chocosura's got Yakra 13 down.
Again, only Chrono living on his screen.
Yep. Dipwood going into that fight.
And so is Xelpher, he's caught up. Screen for screen.
Right. Here's the music. Now. Yeah, so basically, if you're holding the button right when I said now, it should come up. I've personally tried to do it by vision, and I just never get it right, but once I figured out the music thing, I've missed it like once since then. So, it works for me.
It's a pretty key distinction. You don't press it, you hold it.
Yes, always hold. Because most of these games will give you at least like a few frames of input, so it just gives you a better chance of getting the menu glitch whenever you're going for it. Okay.
Oh, we are seeing left bit.
Left bit. That Confuse is doing enough damage that it should take that thing out in 2 hits. I've never tried anti-life on the left bit, actually. Oh, that'll do it. I think.
It should, yeah.
Yeah,
It's only got 3,000 HP on the left.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But then it didn't die, and I was like, oh well, I guess it dies after anti-life, so...
Yeah. Right bit, we're looking to do 20,000 damage to it.
Mhm.
And center's 8?
I think it's 8. Right? Yakra's down over on Dipwood's side.
Hello, dog.
Yes, Momo says hi.
Corinth hasn't said it in chat yet, but none of these runs are really valid because nobody pet the cat.
Yeah, you know, that's fair. It's gonna be hard to crown a true winner.
Lavos Core, Lavos 3 here, he has 4 different scripts he can run through, and pseudoarc is pretty familiar with what each one is, so he's able to play it pretty well based on what it starts with. I could read them out, but it's not really fun to listen to it. But just know that Lavos is a very set fight, so you don't really have to worry too much.
Yes.
As long as you're familiar with it.
Done. Active life once.
Gonna rush down center bit here, it looks like.
Yeah, at least do that fire sword damage. Okay, so at this point, left bit's getting a looks like. The left bit, if you attack it when there's no center bit, it will do a nasty X-Strike counterattack with the right bit, and it is very nasty, it hits really hard, but with Fire Sword 2, that will only hit the right bit. So, no need to worry about the left. Alright, Choco is through Lavos 1.
Put his defenses back up and back down.
Yep. Gotta wait for it. There's Lavos on Dipwood's screen doing that energy release. That's what Ayla's ultimate move is if she's Magus.
Throwing out his anti-life. I don't think he's used his green dream yet, so...
I don't think so. Or, no, he anti-lifed the left bit earlier.
Right.
Right, yeah. I don't usually think of using anti-life on the left bit because, you know, you think physical damage, but it's not elemental and I guess it doesn't soak it, so... Hey, good to know.
Got center bit back in the fray, but I don't think right bit's much longer for this world.
I doubt it. Right, Dipwood going into inner Lavos and Xelpher is just nipping at his heels.
GG!
And GG! Gonna be a 144-20 something for pseudoarc, looks like.
See if we can get him in for an interview here.
Mm-hmm.
battle for second right now for sure. Any one of these runners could take a bad turn from Lavos and have to start the fight over.
Absolutely.
Choco's got both the arms down now. Same as Dipwood.
Inner Lavos, once you've got the arms down, it's kind of just a matter of dishing out the damage before he can.
GG, pseudoarc.
GG! Congratulations!
My goodness, that was intense.
And you were worried.
I was. But you saw me, I was practicing Magus' Castle before, and it all paid off.
It did.
Absolutely. No, you had a really clean run through there. Pretty clean run overall, yeah.
No, I mean, the only part that I wasn't happy with was when the stream died during the Prism, and I was, like, trying to kill everything and the monsters.
What, we saw you leave and we're like, oh no, hopefully you can get back in time.
Yeah. No, yeah. No, I don't think there's much I would have done differently there. Pretty happy not doing Cathedral. Pretty happy just benching Frog. So that was good.
Yeah, behind Cathedral you would have had Ayla.
Ayla, yeah.
Yeah, and like that was best case because we got the Prism Shard at some point and we had Robo somewhere, but then Robo was in the Burrow, so Marl, who knows? But hearing that Ayla was in Cathedral makes me feel really good.
Marl was Dactyl Nest, which we know due to commentator privilege. Nobody checked or anything.
All three runners are going into Levels 3 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Choco just got the menu glitch, and the other two are fading in on Lavo's core spawn.
Gate was behind. Whoa.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh man.
Yeah. Genodome turned out to be Ruby Knife.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that's the only check.
Dreamstone was in. I don't know. I guess.
I haven't seen the Dreamstone. It might have been behind the Rainbow Shell.
Maybe behind. Yeah, maybe behind Prism Shard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with Jerky and something and Moonstone still out there, it did not. It was a little risky trying to look for Marl. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was.
I was getting a little nervous when I didn't have. I was rocking the Darksaber up until the new shop.
Oh yeah.
But.
No, I think that Vedic Blade in the Ocean Palace is a big.
I bought a Star Sword from the new shop, and I think the Vedic Blade had 5 attack more than the Star Sword. So
it's very close, yeah.
Yeah. Chrono has a lot of these swords that like don't really like the Slasher 2, the Vedic Blade, the Star Sword. They're all within like 5 different attack.
His weapons are harder to keep track of, I think, because because he's the main character, so he gets a new weapon like all the time, where the other characters get them, like half as often as he does. So
yeah. Okay, now
Chad, Zero Praxis wants you to know, pseudoarc, that your skips were godly and that they're an awe.
I just joined and I'm watching the Lavos fights now.
Yeah, this has been pretty interesting because none of them started Lavos at the same time, but they started Lavos core around the same time.
Yeah,
So,
Xelpher
I have
was
no idea how this is
behind
shaping.
most of this race, but he really caught up at the end here, so.
Yeah, I mean Ayla and Blaze Kick is just like that little bit better than whatever Chrono's doing. Especially if Ayla was in Cathedral and all of those +4 tabs have been going into Ayla, she's probably star strength now.
Yeah, and Xelpher grabbed magic pretty early too, and got fire 2 on Luca, so again, Blaze Kick.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. The other big sweat was when is Luca going to learn fire 2?
Early, luckily.
Yeah, it was early. It was like 4th or it was 5th, I think. So That was very welcome. Man, yeah, those Xelpher blade kicks. He cannot have much more health left here.
I'm sure not. I'm trying to watch everybody's fight, but it's hard to keep
So
track.
close.
And
Like this is anybody's second place.
oh yeah.
Oh man, super intense.
Yeah, you were 2 bosses ahead there at the end. You were on levels
Mhm.
3 when people were on people were just finishing up their Yakra.
Yep.
Why was that? Was that like Xelpher did Cathedral and Magic? That's probably the difference.
Xelpher
Yeah.
did Genome and stuff as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Genodome. Well, no wonder. That would do
Right,
it.
yeah. Yeah. But he's been catching up very quickly ever since.
I hear that you have your #1 fan there, Pseudo.
Was that? Oh yeah, my number 1 and 2 fans are here, and I need
awesome.
All right,
Oh,
GG
Xelpher
Xelpher.
second.
I was like, I bet that's gonna
Ooh.
do it.
I can't wait to tell him that he was behind most of that and still came second. That's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, we had Frog cutting open the magic cave like 3 times in a row, basically, and then Xelpher was a couple minutes behind that. But and he's amazing at playing catch up, so I shouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, it's incredible that he did Genodome and all the other stuff, and
Mhm.
then caught up. That is absurd.
And there's an 800 damage counter. That's why you don't want to hit them all with AoE.
Yes.
This might be it for Choco.
Could be.
Oh, no, one more.
Not quite. Come on, Frog.
There
Yep,
it is.
GG
Choco's
Choco.
third. Dipwood's got to be one or 2 attacks behind. The Stanty
Yeah, I
Life will
can't-
probably do it.
I can't imagine it's gonna take much more.
Let's see. Yeah, there it is. There's the 4th.
All right, GG.
Yeah, GG.
We have Xelpher joining us now.
Welcome,
GG Xelpher.
GG.
Good game, Xelpher.
Oh, we can't hear you there.
Oh, you're lighting up, but I'm hearing nothing.
Yeah, and it looks like Dipwood also got Lava
Yep.
Sound. So
Mhm. Yep, everyone is done now. That was a fun race.
That was super close at the end.
Mhm. Yeah.
Watching that's going to be a really fun one for the racers to watch back, just to see how spread to the 4 wins they went, and just to all converge so closely at
Mhm.
the end.
Yeah, it was
well,
definitely
convergence was sort of guaranteed because, I mean, everything was hidden behind Gatekey on Mount Woe.
Yeah, it's true. So we saw the chrono trigger at all either, and I think that might be behind that whole tangle as well.
Looking at the spoiler log, I saw it earlier. Hold on. Sunstone turn into Melchior was trigger.
Okay.
Right.
And your Dreamstone would have been in Desert. So technically, you could have gotten Robo from Frog's Burrow and gotten Dreamstone.
Yeah, but
Oh, right,
he was
Geeky.
on Will,
Yeah,
right?
no, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the Magus guaranteed seed to finish off our 10-week ladder race. It feels 100% appropriate.
Yeah, anything else would have been wrong.
That's true.
Can you guys hear me now?
We can.
Yes.
Yep.
Welcome.
Aha, there we go. I fixed it.
Hooray! Welcome in. Welcome in.
Welcome and GG.
Oh, thank you. And GG Pseudo, congratulations.
Hey, GG, man. I can't believe you did Genodome and then still were just like a minute or two behind. That's ridiculous.
Hey, somebody had to do Genodome. Oh, I was so hopeful at first too.
You actually did Genodome and Factory. You were behind most of the end of there, but you really slingshotted back forward. I really recommend watching that one back.
Yeah, I'm
Really?
definitely gonna
Oh,
watch
man.
it because like it's really ridiculous how much time is spent in Chrono Trigger on the actual fights, and you always wonder like when is a character worth it to pick up. But from what I'm hearing, picking up Ayla was like really worth it.
Right. Well, she had triple kick relatively soon enough that was useful, and I think picking up magic for Fire 2, that helped too. I don't know, it's such a gamble because if the techs are in a different order, then it's not worth it. So you never know.
Yeah, so Chrono had Lightning 2, which means that Factory's pretty quick. It's like 4 minutes at that point. But I don't know, still, I wasn't willing to do it.
But yeah, anybody who's interested in learning or participating in Chrono Trigger Just in Time Randomizer, hop into our Discord. There's a ton of useful guides there from a bunch of them are from a guy in chat called Moon Blizzard. It's really open, welcoming community. We're always happy to help teach, and we really love seeing more people running this. It's a brilliant randomizer.
And
Absolutely.
also, I don't think there are any specifics yet, but Cthulhu Crisis and Akuhaish and maybe some others are organizing some new player event something.
Yeah.
To
Like hopefully a new player tournament.
Yeah, we'll see exactly what it turns into, because we need a lot of new players to get a new player tournament going. But some sort of new player event for sure. So this is the perfect time to get involved, to get going.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you need help, there are people that will help you learn. Like people will jump into your stream and help you if that's what you need. Like it's a totally great community. We're here to help. So please come play with us.
Yeah, give everybody racing a follow. They're all really entertaining to watch. And drop in the Discord. Does anybody want to say anything else about the seed?
Just good game, everyone. A lot of
That was a
fun.
good game. Thank you.
Congratulations.
GG and great race, everybody. And thanks for everyone who ran the tournament, even everybody who didn't make the finals, including us commentators. We tried.
We tried.
But yeah, we'll catch everyone for the next event, hopefully fairly soon. Everybody have a good night, and remember to pet the validation cat on your way out of Chrono's house to win.